What do a lot of men your age do, but that you personally think is boring or a waste of time? Fun. Like eating and taking naps. Shit. Am I a cat? I'm fairly certain half of all redditors are cats. Where's my forward? Human. Wake up. It is the hour of feeding your god. And you are slacking. Pitiful primates. Drink and go to the bar every night. I just don't get it. I'll be honest. I see a lot of people complaining that it's hard to make new friends and hard to meet women for dating. Bars are great for both. You just have to pick the right place and have local. I've made lots of drinking buddies through the years, and the ones that have proven themselves to meet the criteria graduate to genuine friends. And I've met nearly all of my romantic partners at bars. Granted, 2 of them were bartenders, but still. Yet the people in this sub complaining about loneliness and not meeting women are the same people knocking the nightlife scene. A tale as old as time. I cannot express how much I do not give a ref about your fantasy football league. It's D&D for jocks and most have no clue. I'm not a jock and I love fantasy football. Maybe this is why. Golf. You know, I've kinda always felt the same. But if I could get a couple of my butts and go out on a nice day with some thrift store golf clubs and a cooler full of refreshments, having a couple drinks while we all try to just hit the ball as hard as we can and failing miserably at it, I think I would be down to go golfing. Come on, man. You get to drive around on the biggest, freshly cut lawn you'll ever see, and the score doesn't mean a damn thing. It's gotta be a good time, right? So I have actually played golf. I took it up and played it for about 3 months with work colleagues. I'll grant you, the drinks, the easy company, the outdoors, it's all good, but I couldn't see a point in the game itself after a while. Those who do enjoy it, good for you. Personally, I'd rather play something with a bit more physical effort involved, where the game lasts a shorter time. Any sport, basketball, tennis, squash, clubbing, maybe, but those baby seals aren't going to club themselves. Now, are they? Maybe he's just limiting his potential. There are literally tens of thousands of baby animals out there that need clubbing. Dude needs to spread his wings. I consider myself a non-discriminatory clubber. If something's head needs smashing in, I'm not averse. Have an affair with, or leaving their partner over, a young woman. Instant non-stop drama. Bruh, only rich guys can afford to do this. You'd be surprised. My dad worked big project construction, where projects took 5 to 10 years. So we moved around a lot, and one guy he worked with would get a new woman, and usually at least one kid, at each job site. In the 70s he had a wife and kid. 80s, new wife. 2 adopted kids. Site in the 90s, new wife. 1 kid was hers. Site overseas in the early 2000s. He knocked up some local woman and fucked off back to be with his current wife. The previous woman mentioned he passed away a few years ago, and my mom said I don't even know how he did it. He always just came off as so sleazy. Drink beer non-stop. Watch sports, and watch sports. Yeah, I have a buddy who's so intense about this, he would miss his child's birth. Like, we try and plan things, and he laughs in my face during football season. Literally, hahaha. Why would you think your insert thing is more important than me watching the Jets game, a team he doesn't support? It F wild. Obligatory F the Jets. Nothing that is fun is a waste of time. Have to agree with you. If you've brought enjoyment into your life through an activity that doesn't hurt others, then crack on. You're doing fine. Watch sports. I have nothing against it, but it just isn't for me. I can think of much better things to do with 3 hours than sit on a couch and watch TV. Also, golf. Hunt and, to a lesser degree, fish. I like being outdoors as much as the next guy, but planning a whole trip around it, getting up early to do it, plus I know where tackers live. See, I've been thinking about taking up fishing. M26 seems like a good excuse to get outside and into nature, to have something to do and pay attention to, which also isn't particularly strenuous or necessarily requiring your entire attention. I only did it as a kid with my dad, but I'm kind of liking the vibe, in my head, of going out to a beautiful lake in great weather, setting up, maybe taking a book, or listening to a podcast, while waiting for a bite. Maybe smoke a J or drop a little acid during. Bring a couple beers and some snacks. See if I can catch something good enough to gut and eat. Or take it home with me to eat in the week. Maybe I'm over romanticizing it. But that sounds so good. I've hunted some birds with a friend before, but that wasn't really my vibe. Maybe a little too aggressive. Don't think I really would like hunting mammals either. Despite being a meat eater. I know that's hypocritical, but still. Golfing. Jesus Christ. I'm so tired of hearing my peers talk about it. Personally, I find it boring and unappealing. It's not about the golf. It's about getting out on a pretty day and hanging out with friends. See, that's the thing. I can think of a million other things to that where golf is not involved. Manicure my lawn. I just don't give a s if I have the nicest lawn on my block. I understand lawn in the backyard if you have kids or a dog that needs a space to play. I don't get lawn as an aesthetic flex. A nicely landscaped garden with a variety of plants and trees, or a raised bed garden with edible fruit / veggie bearing plants is infinitely more interesting and aesthetically pleasing to me than a boring lawn. Working full time in a job they hate. This one I get, but find it tragic. The amount people I know who are miserable, and I mean hate their life, because of how shitty their jobs are, but either have no choice because they have family to support, or were brought up to believe that everyone is miserable at their job, and wanting to do something that doesn't make you hate life is a childish wish is heartbreaking. This is my point, and it goes very deep. PPL say bills etc. But if you're living most your life and work, and you hate your job, then WTF is going on? It really brings on a lot of hard philosophical questions. Why live? Why plow on? You pretty much hate your life. Time to reassess why you even plow on. Golf. Golf, don't get me wrong. I can enjoy being outdoors and playing 9 holes. But I know guys who golf a few days a week. That sounds like being in prison. Golfing 18 holes takes so long. Live sporting events. 2. You have to blow almost a whole day between getting to the venue and getting home. I don't want to allocate that much time to something like that. I have season tickets to my favorite NFL team. A long time ago I would be the person to go every week, drink it up, pass out at halftime, wake up in the fourth quarter, and party the whole way home. It was fun for sure, but now as a almost 40-something husband and dad, things change. I plan to only go to 1 or 2 games this year. The rest I've traded or sold to my group of ticket holders. Driving to the game is 1.5 to 2 hours. The game itself is usually always fun and amazing. Team is doing really good currently, but leaving the parking lot and the drive home sucks. At this point in my life I'm content going a few times a year and watching the rest on TV. I don't even enjoy the game as much as I enjoy the pre-game tailgate with my friends. I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to argue that something you do for leisure is a waste of time. There's no need to be productive all the time. Of course, any hobby is boring to someone else. I love gardening, and I'm sure that sounds awful to a lot of people. I think one thing that is a waste of time is hustle culture. You'll see people starting up businesses, getting real estate licenses, trying to invest, doing their regular job, side jobs, etc. all at the same time. Basically they end up doing none of those things well. A couple of their business ventures don't work out. They never use that real estate license they got, etc. The time waster is they do a ton of stuff that doesn't pan out instead of focusing on 1 or 2 things they are passionate about. Because of where we are, a get mass downvoted, but video games, an hour or so of them maybe, but you get to a certain age where they're just so much more to life. For me, video games are a downtime activity, something you do when you're going out that night but still have an hour to kill, or you just got home from a work trip and have nothing planned till tomorrow. They should fill small pockets of time you have throughout the week, but a day filled with video games sounds like a waste. But, as the title says, just my personal opinion, I love video games and I agree with the 1000%. but I haven't really played them in years because I just have so many other things to occupy my mind that I really don't think about them. I still have a blast any chance I get to set up my driving kit and play Forza. My best friend is a big gamer. Like he'll take a week off of work when the new WoW drops, just so he can joyfully immerse into that world without interruption. His wife is 100% on board with it because she says he's like a giddy teenager for weeks leading up to the release. But he's also 150% reciprocal when she wants her own time. I personally don't get the attraction to the gaming, but it's incredible what it does for him, so I just roll with it. But when he's with me for a few days out on the farm baling hay and fixing old tractors or whatever, he always says I have no desire to game when I'm out here. And it's profound to him every single time. I've got solid internet and he brings his laptop, but it stays in his bag in the front closet the entire time. Social media. Spending money on flavored air. Excessive partying. Becoming alcoholics. Don't know about boring, but they are definitely both a waste of time. Not just time you have, but time you would have if you didn't actively F yourself up. I have nothing against having a good time, but having a good time isn't equivalent to killing yourself via hard drugs and a shitton of alcohol. I drink sometimes too, but with moderation. In other, a bit related news, I'm no longer part of my old friend group. Yep. Drinks and drugs at parties are a really fun time, but they take a toll on you physically, mentally and financially. The hidden consequence as well is that your friend group that you partied with will also disappear. Drinkers only want to hang out with other drinkers, and I'm speaking as a still active drinker. Watch sports and drink beer. Golf. Golf and watch sports. I find golf boring, and sports don't interest me. I don't like hunting because I don't care for gamey meat and don't believe in killing animals for anything other than food. I enjoy fishing and drinking beer though. Spend an entire day watching football. Watch the news. In one of the Harry Potter books, he's looking for signs of Voldemort's return. Uncle Dursley, why do you have to watch the news every day? Boy, Harry, well, it changes every day. Apostrophe. You just got potted, son. Drink. Awful for the health, and has been ingrained into society as a fun activity. Fantasy football. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I don't see the appeal in turning football into homework. Now, I agree with you. Then having to hear about it all week at work, I try to hide lol. Golf. Watch sports. I can't imagine wasting 6 hours of my Sunday watching grown men play ball. I used to think exactly like you. I didn't play sports as a kid. My parents made me when I was too young for it, and I ended up hating it. I took up other hobbies, mostly music and reading. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot, and I never had a home team in any sport. Then one day, as an adult, I said, I wonder why football is so popular. I'm going to sit and watch every home team game this year and find out. I told my wife to leave the kids with me, so she got used to the idea of kid-free Sundays. And I paid attention, start to finish, 3 to 4 weeks in a row, one team. I listened to the announcers and I learned everything I could about the rules and strategy of play. And when you approach it like that, it actually looks more like a massive moving chess match between the two coaches. No other sport really feels like that to me. The stopping and starting of play feels like taking turns on a board game. Half the fun is looking at how the players line up before the snap and trying to guess what play is coming and whether or not it will work, or calling out a huge penalty on the other team before the refs announce it. And unfortunately, you can't really do that when you first start watching. IPAs. Tastes like fruity cardboard. I'd prefer the cardboard. TBH. I can't get past the hops. I really don't understand hop forward IPAs. I've had a few that were well balanced, but others are like chewing on hops, and there's a reason it isn't a popular snack.